All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Troy. I'm the president of the Fright Meter Awards Organization. A few days ago, I posted a video giving my commentary on our 2013 Best Supporting Actress nominees. So today I thought I'd do the same for their male counterparts. So what I'm going to do is discuss our nominees for the 2013 Best Supporting Actor Award. Just a reminder, the 2013 Fright Meter Award winners are going to be announced live on February 22nd from Pensacon in Pensacola, Florida. Very excited about that. This is going to be the first year that the winners are announced live. The Pensacon event is a wonderful event. They have some huge names lined up. Our committee voted to give Tom Savini the very first Fright Meter Lifetime Achievement Award. He's going to be in attendance to accept the award, so can't get much better than that, right? So very excited. Before I get started with our nominees for Best Supporting Actor, just a reminder here about the Fright Meter Awards. We are actually a non-profit organization. I started the Fright Meter Awards back in 2007 as a means to honor the horror genre, which I grew up loving the horror genre. I have a passion for the horror genre. And so I decided to create an award that solely honors the horror genre because it oftentimes gets ignored by your mainstream film awards. So I wanted an outlet to do that. And, there have been several great horror films, several great horror performances over the last several years that have gone completely ignored by the mainstream horror awards. And oftentimes these are performances that are much better than what ultimately ends up winning, Academy Awards, etc., in my opinion. So, and while awards aren't the be-all, end-all of a quality of a film, we all know that there is a subjective part of awarding something whenever you have a body of people that are voting on it. But I do think it's important for filmmakers who are primarily working in the horror genre and for actors and actresses who primarily are working in the horror genre. I think it's great to have an outlet for them to at least at some point have consideration for recognition for their hard work, because the horror genre is it's one of the premier genres out there in terms of fans and people that are truly passionate about it. So I did want to get that out there. And if you're a huge horror fan and you would like to be part of our committee. Basically, the committee is responsible for selecting the nominees and the winners each year. What you got to do is you got to watch horror movies all year. Who doesn't like that? So if you're somebody that is ravenous about watching every horror film released during the year, like I am and like many of our committee members are, you would fit right in. So if you're interested in that, please don't hesitate. Contact me. Go to our website, www.frightmeterawards.com. Email me directly, troy@frightmeterawards.com. I'd love to hear from you. Love to have you on the committee. We need passionate people who are going to be willing to honor and recognize these films each year. So I did want to talk about the Best Supporting Actor category this year, our 2013 nominees for Best Supporting Actor. I discussed last time with the Best Supporting Actress nominees that's a tough category. So is this male? Is the Best Supporting Actor category equally as tough? Well, we'll discuss that in a second. Let's talk about the nominees. This year's nominees for your 2013 Fright Meter Award for Best Supporting Actor are Epi Kusnander for VHS2, Rob Corddry for Warm Bodies, Lou Taylor Pucci for Evil Dead, Reese Wakefield for The Purge, and Ron Livingston for The Conjuring. Okay? So there are your 5 performances, your 5 Best Supporting Actor performances. Is it as good as a tough category as our Best Supporting Actress category? While I don't necessarily think there's a clear winner in either category, I think the Best Supporting Actress category might just be a tad tougher simply because you have those 2 big names, Nicole Kidman and Julianne Moore. Generally, when I created the awards, I'm going to be honest here, I wanted to get away from honoring too many mainstream films and performances and mainstream actors, because they're going to get recognition anyways. Nicole Kidman and Julianne Moore, for example, Oscar nominations. They're going to get that recognition. So when I created the awards, I was really looking to honor the more underground stuff, or the more, I shouldn't say underground stuff, but less mainstream names and performances and films. More independent stuff, I guess that was the word I was looking for, not underground. That's the wrong word. So, but again, when you have a committee, let's say Julianne Moore and Nicole Kidman were both brilliant in their performances. So I can't really, they deserve their nominations. So I think that having those big names may make the Best Supporting Actress category a little bit tougher. However, I think these five guys are a really great group. What I really like about this is that these five performances, are so different. There's such a variety of the types of performances that are in this group, that I really like that. I like to see that variety of performance, especially in the horror genre, because a lot of people think the horror genre is a very one-note genre. So when you get five performances like this that couldn't be more different than one another, I think that's great. So let's talk about our first nominee. First nominee, Epi Kusnander in VHS 2. If you haven't seen VHS 2, I do recommend you watch it. I know VHS, the first one, was a little divisive among horror fans. Personally, I liked it, but I know a lot of horror fans didn't really care for it. But this one, I think, improved on the first one in every way imaginable. So I think if you didn't really care for the first one, give this second one a try. I thought it was a much better improvement over the first one. Epi Kusnander's performance is in the segment Safe Haven. And to put this out there real quick, his performance is not in English. It's a subtitled performance. Believe it or not, I've run across horror fans who tell me they refuse to watch foreign horror because they don't want to read the subtitles. I don't know what to say there. You're missing out on a lot of good films. So performance is subtitled. However, you don't even need the subtitles to know that this guy is just effing crazy. Okay? And Epi Kusnander, I don't know. I've never met the guy. I've never seen him in anything else. I don't know how he is in real life, but based on this performance, I would think that this guy is a complete over-the-top wacko. That's a good thing, though, because this performance, perhaps more than any performance this year, affected me in terms of actually making me fearful of what I was seeing on screen. And here, like a lot of horror fans, I'm immune to being real scared anymore with horror films. It takes a lot. But Epi Kusnander's performance is just batshit crazy. Briefly, he plays a leader of a cult, for the lack of better. It is a cult. I don't want to give any spoilers, but it's a cult. And these group of young filmmakers go to interview this cult about their life and whatnot. And it just so happens that they chose the wrong day to do this interview. And I think that Epi his eyes, his tone of voice, he just captures this intense, unbalanced, unhinged craziness that I think is brilliant. Like I said, I've never seen him in anything else. I really would like to see what he's capable of doing in terms of something a little bit different than what this performance was. But this performance was it was a great performance. It's going to stay with you. And the segment Safe Haven in general is a brilliant segment. And I think that this is a performance that I tell the committee members to please, before they vote on the final five, to please try to watch at least all of the films and all of the nominees that get nominated once we get past the nomination part. Because I know that a lot of the committee members have definite favorites already. But I really want them to see all the films nominated, because I think, like, for example, Epi Kusnander's performance is one that even if your favorite is on our list already and you think, oh, I'm going to vote for him because there's not. I think this is a performance that could change that completely, because it's such a brilliant portrayal of, just think of your cliched, just nutcase cult leader. and Epi Castander nails this performance. Great. This is a very much deserved nomination, and I really think that it could win. You know, so that great. Um, the next performance that's nominated, Rob Corddry for Warm Bodies. Uh, this performance stands out among the five simply because it's basically a non-verbal performance. He has little to no dialogue at all. Rob Corddry plays the zombie M in Warm Bodies. Now, Warm Bodies, PG-13, teenage, very glossy zombie film that a lot of horror fans were turned off by because it takes the rotting, disgusting Romero zombies and replaces them with more like the young main zombie in Warm Bodies is this young boy that's very good looking for a zombie, and this girl falls in love with him. However, Rob Corddry's performance is still a decent performance. I know that some of the committee members are really behind this performance. I'll just say that it was great that Rob Corddry was able to project a lot of emotions and whatnot through the use of facial expressions and body language, because sometimes that's a lot harder than having a whole page of dialogue. Is to project what you're feeling simply with your face and your body language. And Rob Corddry, he's memorable. He kind of provides a little bit of comic relief in the film, even though Warm Bodies balances or teeters between comedy, teen romance comedy, and horror. But Rob Corddry is able to give a memorable performance as a zombie, and I think it definitely stands out among the group as being a little bit unique. The next performance is Lou Taylor Pucci in Evil Dead. His performance and nomination reminds me very much of last year's Franz Kranz for Cabin in the Woods, who was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, kind of the long-haired stoner guy. It's very similar to Lou Taylor Pucci, but I think that this nomination was deserving in terms of the fear and whatnot that Lou Taylor Pucci is able to project in the film. He is kind of the character who acts as the genesis for getting the zombies actually, or not the evil forces that are in the cabin. If you've seen Evil Dead, which I'm sure most of you have, getting them unleashed, and he has some great scenes. His scene towards the end of the film is very good. He has that wide-eyed kind of shock, surprise look throughout the film that is effective, and a very likable character. Does he have? I wouldn't say that the performance has any, like, when we talk about Oscars, they always talk about that one meaty scene that seals the Oscar win for an actor or an actress. I don't think that Pucci has that one meaty scene that maybe the Epi Castander has or some of the other performances have, but it's still a good performance. So we'll see. Good enough to win? I don't know. Reese Wakefield is next, The Purge. I can say that people that even hated The Purge loved this performance, or at least walked away remembering Reese Wakefield as the polite leader. Much like Epi Castander, Reese is, and I've seen Reese Wakefield in other things, and this was such a 360-degree turn from what he's done that I was very impressed at the fact that he was able to pull off such a intense and fearless performance as the polite leader. I think the one thing that's memorable about The Purge is kind of the image of Reese Wakefield's face through the peephole, and sort of how the intensity in his voice and in his face kind of increases throughout the film. And we start to realize this kid, who very much looks like a boy next door, this kid is completely unhinged and completely verging on being insane. And what I like about his performance is it's not over the top at all. I think, like I mentioned with Tristan Risk in Best Supporting Actress category, I think in the hands of a lesser actor, And this required a younger actor. I think in the hands of a lesser actor, this performance could have been over the top. And I think that Reese Wakefield gives it a levelness that, with the intensity and the insanity, you can see it just brimming under the surface through his voice and through his face. Great performance. Great performance. A standout thing of The Purge. I think that this is a performance that could ultimately win as well. Last is Ron Livingston in The Conjuring. I'm wondering if Ron Livingston just got swept up in the Conjuring love. The Conjuring set a Fright Meter Award record. It was nominated for 13 awards. It's been nominated in every category, and I think that maybe this is just he got swept in with the Conjuring love. Not that it's a bad performance. Don't get me wrong. I'm not bad mouthing the performance. I just think that it's a performance that, for me, and this is just me, wasn't very memorable or challenging compared to not just the other nominees in the category, but compared to his other actors in the film. And I think that's what really surprised me when he ended up making the top five, the final five, is that he was good performance, but I think he was overshadowed particularly by Lily Taylor and Vera Farmiga, Patrick Wilson, some of the younger actors in the Conjuring, Joey King, I think. But again, he's able to pull off that loving, devoted husband. That's one thing about the performance that sticks with you, is you can tell this guy. Him and Lily Taylor have a good chemistry together, and I think they're able to build a background for these two characters before we even get to see them. They have chemistry. We believe them as a couple, and we believe that he's devoted. And I do think he has a few really good scenes towards the end when he's dealing with his wife and her predicament, which, again, I don't want to spoil if you haven't seen the Conjuring. So I mean, I'm not saying that this is undeserving performance at all. I'm just saying that I thought it was surprising that he made it in the final five over some other performances that I'll get to in a second. Okay, so those are your top five. Who's going to win? I definitely think that there's a couple standout performances in here and one of them, I think that any one of them could win. So I guess we'll have to see. You'll have to tune in on February 22nd to see who wins. Before I go, I did this last time, a couple of performances that I'm surprised did not make the cut. The first one that I was really passionate about, and apparently my committee did not feel the same way. I really thought Joe Swanberg should have been nominated for You're Next. I think in a film that was full of really unlikable male characters, and mainly female, almost every character in that film was unlikable, with the exception of Sharni Vincent and Joe Swanberg. I thought he was extremely likable, pulled off his character extremely well. Lots of things about that performance I really like, so I was surprised not to see that make it. Mark Hamill in Sushi Girl. If you haven't seen Sushi Girl, he's unrecognizable. Crazy performance. Would have been very deserving in our top five as a nominee. Definitely not your Star Wars Mark Hamill, for sure. I thought, the Best Supporting Actress category had a young girl, and I thought, the supporting actor could have had Ty Simpkins from Insidious Chapter 2. Had a lot more to do this time than he did in the first film, and I thought he was really good. And Sean Bridgers in Jugface. If you've seen The Woman, you know that Sean Bridgers is pretty good about playing an asshole, and this was no real exception. So I thought, he could have easily been in our top five. But again, these are my opinions, guys. Has no bearing on who wins. Trust me there. You have my word. So who's going to win? Again, tune in February 22nd. I will check back with you with our Best Actress category next time. So until then, take care. Again, if you check out frightmeterawards.com, and I will be back with you shortly to discuss the Best Actress nominees. Talk to you later.